Hi, I'm Amanda and today we have a chair yoga class for you. We'll start the class by warming up the neck and spine, mobilising the shoulders and the hips, and we'll finish with a final standing section which focuses on balance. I hope you enjoy it. So we're going to start our chair yoga class with some breathing. In yoga, breathing is called pranayama and it's a force of life. But we will start seated in the chair and just get yourself comfortable with your shoulders in the back of the chair. And if you want to, you can close your eyes at this point, but you don't have to. Place your hands on your thighs or just quite in your lap either, and allow your shoulders to relax. And you're going to just allow the legs to relax as well. So you're just giving yourself a quick body check from the head down to the shoulders, down in the spine, the hips, the legs, the thighs, calves and feet. And you're just focusing in on those parts of the body and telling those parts of the body just to relax. So we're going to take our focus to our breath now. And we're going to breathe through the nose. So I want you to breathe in and then out through the mouth. And I want you to just feel, have a little check about how your body's feeling now. And we're going to do that again. So we're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And this time again, feeling perhaps the shoulders are a little bit softer and the belly's a bit softer. So we're going to do some breathing called yogic breathing. So take your focus to your belly. And this time I want you to, as you breathe in, have an imaginary balloon that's in your belly. When you breathe in, it expands and fills with air. So breathing in, feeling the tummy expand. And then as you breathe out, feel the tummy contract and the balloon flatten. Breathe in, feel the tummy expand, and then as you breathe out, feel the belly and the balloon contract. Now take your focus to your rib cage, and this time as you breathe in, feel the ribs expand outwards and towards the back of the chair. So breathe in, breathe into the rib cage, feel it expand. And as you breathe out through the mouth, feel the rib cage soften and lower. Once more, breathing in and out. And then for the final breathing, we're going to take our focus to our chest and our top of our lungs. And this is where we normally breathe, and it's normally quite shallow breathing. So breathing in through the nose, feel the top of the chest lift towards the jaw. And as you breathe out, feel the chest lower. Once more, breathing in and out. Lovely. So now just bring your breath back to a normal breathing and blink your eyes open if they're not open already. We're going to start our warm-up with us at top of our head and working through the spine. So gently just allowing your chin to drop to your chest and just feel a stretch down the back of the neck. And you can take your chin one way to the right and the other way to the left, and just feel the back of the neck ease out with any stiffness that you might be holding there. Very gently. Bring the chin back to the centre of the chest and lift the head up. Take the right ear to the right shoulder and allow the head to fall, and you should be able to feel a stretch down the left-hand side of the neck and the top of the shoulder. If you want to increase that stretch, drop the left hand, and flex the fingertips up so you'll feel an increased stretch. Bring the hand back in the lap and lift the head back up again. And we'll do that on the other side. So dropping the head towards the left. Feeling the stretch. Increase the stretch by dropping the hand, flexing the fingers up, and then bring the hand back into the lap, and then bringing your hand back again. So we're going to take our gaze over to the right, so very gently looking over our shoulder, just over to the right, taking a gaze back and then gently bringing our gaze over to the left. Once more, and then back to center, right and center, and left and center. So we're going to take our focus to our shoulders now and do a little bit of warm up for our shoulders. So in yoga, we always use our breath with our movement. So we breathe with our movements, and this helps us move. So we're going to breathe in, and as we do so, lift our shoulders up. Breathing in, feeling the shoulders rise, and as we breathe out, feel the shoulders lower, and just gently lower the shoulders a little bit further down into the back. So you should be pushing the shoulders down just very so gently. Let's do that again once more. Inhaling, and then exhaling and feeling the shoulders lower. And this time I want us to sit up out of our chair. So we're relaxed in the chair. We're going to come to chair mountain pose. So this is us sitting out of the chair, engaging our core muscles. I've got 2 sit bones, and I'm just going to find those at the base of the seat here. I'm pushing those sit bones into the chair, and that lengthens the spine. I'm lengthening the head towards the ceiling and creating a nice long line down my spine. At the same time, I want to draw my belly button in. So you've got this, draw the belly button towards the spine and really kind of lifting up slightly at the front. So we should be sitting up nice and straight and tall. So we're going to do our breathing with our shoulders sitting in this position here. So breathing in, lifting the shoulders up, and then breathing out. Breathing in, lifting the shoulders up, and breathing out. Good. We're going to do something called cow-cat. So I'm still seated up. This time I'm going to go into cat position. So I'm going to draw my elbows back, and they're going to slide towards the back of the chair, keeping my elbows in. As I do so, I just gently arch my spine and take my gaze up towards the ceiling as I breathe in. And then when I breathe out, I'm going to round my spine, round my shoulders, and move my hands down my thighs, curving my spine and feeling a nice stretch. Let's do that twice more. So inhale, lifting the shoulders back, arching the spine, and the elbows go back. And then exhale, rounding the shoulders, and then bringing the shoulders forward. Inhale, last time, elbows back, arching the spine, lifting the chest a little higher this time perhaps, and then again into cat position just here, rounding the shoulders, gaze forward, and then let's just rest back into the chair. We're going to do some shoulder rolls now. So very gently just lift the shoulders up and bring them back and down and forward, up, back, down and forward. And again, you can keep these quite small, but if you want to increase the stretch, just make them a little bit bigger. So really think about slowly and mindfully just rolling the shoulders. You might be feeling some clunks and some clicks, and that's absolutely fine. And then again, we're going to do that the other way. So bring the shoulders up, then round them forward, draw them back and down and up, around forward. And again, you can keep them quite small, or you can make them slightly bigger if you want to. And then just bring the shoulders back to neutral position and perhaps ease them out. We're going to start to bring our arms and stretch our arms and our shoulders at the same time. So I want you to bring your hands forward, and we're going to have palms facing. And I'm just going to bring my palms to my shoulder. So I'm just bringing them to my shoulders and then bringing them back down again. So just warming up the elbows and then down. 2 more times, in and out, and in and out. This time we're going to bring the hands to the shoulders and open the elbows out. So we're feeling a stretch across the top of the chest. And I want to keep my elbows up quite high. If you can't, that's absolutely fine, but just bring them up as high as you can manage. And then we're going to open the arms 4 times in and out to the side. Just gently bringing the hands towards the shoulders, nice and steadily. And there we go. And then keep the hands at the shoulders, and we're going to do our shoulder circles here, but using our elbows this time. So we're going to do some small circles at the elbow, starting small, and then increasing the circle a little bit wider and a little bit wider. If you can't go so wide, just keep it quite small and a little bit wider. Lovely. And then bring that back to small. And then we'll go the other way, so whichever way you haven't done, either forward or back. Bringing the circles a little bit bigger each time and mobilising the shoulders. And then making them come into stillness by decreasing the size. Lovely. So have your elbows out, and this time I'm going to lift my hands up towards the sky. So I've got a nice square position just here. I'm going to draw my hands and my elbows in towards me. So I'm really squeezing my hands and my elbows together, and I should be feeling that across my chest. And then I'm going to open nice and wide. And this time, take the elbows past the shoulders, so you're stretching out, and bring them forward. Squeeze, and then open. Let's do that twice more. Hands and hands and elbows together, and then open. Oh, I'm definitely feeling that across the shoulder blades, and then squeezing, and then opening, and then bringing the hands down and just giving your shoulders a little bit of a shake. So we're going to add a breath and a slightly more dynamic movement. So my arms are going to come down by my side. I'm going to breathe in, and my hands are going to lift up towards the ceiling this time. So breathing in, my hands come to prayer position, and as I breathe out, my hands come to my heart center, and I'm pushing the heels of my hands together, and my elbows are lifted. So I should be feeling that stretch in the wrists at this point. Let's do that again. Arms down the side, breathing in, lifting up, hands meet, exhale, and hands to heart center, and gently pushing those heels of the hands together. Very nice. So we're going to come back to that chair mountain pose that we talked about a little bit before. So I'm going to sit up nice and straight and tall. Sitting, finding the two sit bones, lengthening the spine, reaching the top of the head towards the ceiling, drawing my belly button in, breathing in, the arms come up, hands come towards the ceiling, breathe out, and hands come to heart center. Let's do that again. Breathing in, lifting the hands up. This time maybe you could take the gaze up a little bit higher, and then hands come to heart center. Bringing your your right hand towards the base of the chair just here. I'm going to lift my left hand up as I breathe in. It's going to rise to the ceiling. And as I breathe out, I'm going to stretch and reach towards the right side. And you might just be here, and that's absolutely fine. You might have your arm here, and the full stretch is over here. Use your other hand that's on the chair to brace yourself with. Breathe in, and as you do, breathe out, lower the hand. Let's do that on the other side. So lifting the right hand up, breathe out and lean over, feeling the stretch down the side. Breathe in, lift up, breathe out and lower. Breathe both hands up this time. I'm still sitting up in my chair mountain pose. As I breathe out, I'm going to take my right hand to my knee and my left hand behind me. And I'm going to take my left hand on the chair, and I'm going to turn and use my hands to enable me to twist around. Breathe in, and both hands come back up to the ceiling. Breathe out, and the left hand comes to the knee, the right hand comes behind me, and I use the chair and my knee. Oh, I think there's a bit of a click. And then coming back again, and then bringing our body upright. So we've done some spinal twists and some spinal bends. This time I'm going to go across my body. So I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to reach forward across my body in a diagonal position. Breathe in, and my arm lifts up over the top, and I go diagonally behind me and reaching for something out of the chair. Breathe in, lift the hand up, breathe out, and take that hand diagonally again where we've come to. Let's do that on the left hand side. So taking the left hand, reaching over, breathing in, lifting the arms up and behind, breathing in, breathe out, and it comes back over again, and having a nice stretch over this side. So I should be feeling a little bit looser now. I want you to come to the chair, to the front of the chair, and just bring yourself a little bit forward, still sitting nice and firmly on it. And this time we're going to do some functional movement, but behind your behind you, because we're really good at just moving in our front plane here, where it's easy. Sometimes what we lose is the ability to move behind. So I want you to have an imaginary plate. I'm going to take the plate out. So I've got a plate in my right hand, and I'm going to bring the plate and I'm going to scoop it behind me, and it's going to find the small of my back. My left hand takes the plate and I sweep it round and offer it to somebody over here. I'm going to do that again. Bring the plate in, take it behind, take the plate out and offer it to somebody on the right. Let's do that again, twice more. Plate, offer it around, left hand comes forward, takes it behind you, brings it and offers it to somebody there. Last time, bringing the plate and then bring it around and then bring it back in and behind and then offer it over. Excellent. So we're going to continue that theme, and this time I want you to have an imaginary zip. You've got a dress or a jacket on that's got a zip at the back. So we're going to have a little reach for that zip. So I'm going to sweep my arm up and I'm just gently going to take my hand behind me and reach for the shoulder blades behind. Lovely, and that imaginary zip just there. And then lift the hand up and then bring it down. Let's do that on the other side. So lifting the hand up, reaching for that zip behind you, and then lifting that hand up and down. Good. And this time I want you to think, rather than the lower back, think about perhaps where a bra strap would be a little bit higher. So this time I'm going to take my right hand out and I'm going to reach it towards my bra strap behind here and then back open and out. Bring the hand in, the back of the palm reaches for the bra strap area and then the shoulder blades and back out. Let's do that on the other side. So lifting the hand up, left hand comes up, bring the hand behind, back of the palm facing that middle back area, and then out, and then bringing it behind, reaching, that's it, good, and stretching, and then out. And we'll do one more, which I call brushing the hair. So we're going to take the right hand out, and I'm going to do imaginary brush in my hair, and I'm just going to sweep my hand over my head, and then bring it back up again, as if I had a brush in my hair. And again, sweeping my hand over my head and out with a nice flow. Twice more. Once and over and twice. Good. Let's do that 4 times on the left hand side. So take the hand out, sweeping it over the top of the head and out and out. Lovely. Bringing it over, brushing around, and last time. There we go. And that's our upper back and spine stretch. So we're going to warm up our lower half of the body, starting with the hips. I want you to take yourself a little bit forward in the front of the chair, so that your knees are parallel in line with your hips, and your feet are underneath your knees. So we've got a nice straight angle there, and sitting up nice and straight and tall, as we have done in chair pose. So find those 2 sit bones, sit up nice and straight and tall, and again drawing that belly button in, so we're feeling nice and straight and tall at the front of the chair. And so can we maintain this position when we're doing some of the knee exercises, if you can? Starting off with the hips, I'm gently going to rock my knees from side to side, warming up the hips by moving the legs. So a nice little gentle rock from side to side. And then we'll take the knees in and out, easing them out. A nice gentle kind of loose stretch, giving them a little warm up. Good. So I'm going to warm up my hips a little bit further. So I'm going to take my right knee and I'm going to place that on over to the right side. So I've now got a 90-degree angle between my right foot and my left foot. Again, the feet are directly underneath the knees, so try not to have them spread out like this. Try and maintain that really good posture and pose. You're going to take your right hand and it's going to go on the inside thigh. And you're very gently, again, finding those two sit bones, sitting up nice and straight and tall, opening the knee at the hip with the hand. So just apply some gentle pressure and feeling that stretch there. Good. Just release that slightly. Bend the arm at the elbow, and we're going to take the weight into the forearm, and the forearm's going to come to the thigh. My left hand is either going to come to my hip, out towards the side, or for the full pose, it goes overhead. So I'll demonstrate modified and I'll work towards the full pose. So with my hand at the hip, I'm going to take my weight in my forearm on towards my thigh, and I'm going to just have a nice stretch and bend. So I can increase that by taking my arm out, and the full pose is all the way over the top of the head. Again, I can increase the stretch again by taking my gaze up and opening my left shoulder out. So I should be feeling a nice stretch in the upper back as well. Bring your head back upright and use your right hand to lift yourself up out of the legs. Bring that right leg in, and we're going to do that all on the left side. So take the left leg out, sitting on the corner of the chair. Again, adjusting your positions, making sure that your feet are underneath your knees. Find those two sit bones and sit up nice and straight and tall. Draw the belly button in. Taking the left hand in the inside of the thigh. Have that really nice stretch just here. And then release that slightly. Bend the arm at the elbow. And you're going to take your weight into the forearm into the thigh. We'll start with a hand on the hip, and we're gently going to open the right shoulder up and away. And we can increase that stretch, maybe having the arm out, or lifting the arm all the way over the top of the head. To increase the stretch even further, take the gaze up towards the ceiling and open that right shoulder out. To come back up to center, bring that shoulder forward, and then very gently assisting yourself up and sweeping that arm down. And bring that knee back in again. So we're going to work a little bit on the knees now. So I'm going to just take my hands on either side of the chair, and we're just going to do some knee lifts. So I'm going to lift my foot at the knee. So I'm just gently lifting my foot at the knee, straightening my leg, and then lowering the foot back down again. And we'll do that 3 more times, so 4 in total. Lifting the knee, feeling the knee stretch. And once more, 3, and mindfully lifting and down. And we should be feeling that in the quad as well. And we'll do that on the left-hand side. So lifting the foot at the knee. And then 2, good. And 3, easing those knees out. And 4, and return. And lifting the right foot back up again. This time I'm going to do flex and point. So at the moment I'm sending my energy down the heel at the back of the leg, and it's coming out at the heel. I'm going to point my foot, so pointing the toes forward, and then I'm flexing the foot up, and the toes are pointing towards this, reaching towards the ceiling, and then point and flex and point and flex, point and flex, and keep going. And we should be feeling again this in the quad as well. If it's too intense, you can lower it down a little bit. And then placing it back down. Let's do that on the left side. So try and start high, but again, you can lower it. So again, flexing the foot, feeling the energy down the back of the leg, pointing, feeling the stretch at the front, and just flexing and pointing. And remember to sit up nice and straight and tall. Try not to sink. And then lower the foot down. And we're going to do some foot circles this time. So lifting the heel up, the foot up, and then we're just going to rotate the foot at the ankle joint one way and then the other way. And then lower. And then again. Oh, that was, I could definitely hear my ankles creaking that time. One way and the other. That's good, well done. So coming back to sit in the chair. So now we've warmed up our knees and our ankles, we're going to come to a little bit more of an energetic section. So bringing yourself forward onto the chair, we'll just warm up the backs of the legs first with a seated lunge. So taking the hands underneath the thigh at the knee, you're going to gently lift the knee up towards the chest. So if you can bring it up towards you, you should feel a stretch down the back of the leg. And if you can change the arms, just bring those arms in front and you can stretch that knee towards you, relaxing at the hip as you do so. And lowering the leg. And then again, we'll do that on the left hand side. So lifting the knee up. If you can change grip and hold the knee towards the chest, give it a nice little hug and feel the stretch in the thigh and the backs of the legs and the lower back, and then lowering down. So we're going to do a cardio section, which just gets your heart working a little bit. So in this section, if you move your arms quite higher or with more energy and a little bit faster, it gets the blood working around your body. So if you've been seated for a long time, just moving your arms above your head actually increases the blood flow in your body. So we're going to do some seated marching. So just gently lifting the right opposite arm and opposite leg, and just gently start to swing the arms and the legs together. So just moving that. And again, if you need to take your arms a little bit higher, you can do. So I'm swinging that, and we should be able to send the blood around our arms and legs. And then if we want to increase the effort, we just do it a little bit faster. Bring in some more energy in. And I can hear my breath going. And I can feel the blood in my hands and my feet. Lovely. And then just slowly bringing it back to a seated position. We're going to continue this with my jumping jacks. So again, I'm seated at the front of the chair, and I'm going to bring my arms and my legs out wide at either side, and then I bring my hands and elbows together and my knees and feet together, and I repeat that again. So nice and wide and in, wide and in, wide and in, and then I'm going to increase the speed. So 1 and in. That's it. And I should be feeling that in my shoulders and my legs. And you should be hearing it in my voice that my breath is working, having to work a little bit harder to talk. And then again, slowly bringing that back to a seated position. Good. So one last one is my spotty dogs. So I'm going to go, it's long arm, long leg and opposition. And again, I would be having one arm in front, one, and then I change my arms and my legs. So 1 and forward, that's it, yes. And then bringing, that's it, the pace up. Again, if the arms are coming a little bit higher, we're having to work a little bit harder. And slowly down, bringing the pace down and coming to seated. I'm going to finish with a chair pose, and this works the biggest muscle groups, and it's a really great exercise if you need to kind of maintain getting out of the chair and out of your seat. So I'm going to take myself at the front of my chair as I was. I might need to assist myself with my hands. My arms are going to come down my side. As they sweep forward, I'm going to lift my hips up from the chair, and my hands can either come parallel to help me, or if you're really struggling, they can come to the hips. And we're just going to hover over the chair, making sure the knees are bent and my hips are bent as well, and my focus is in front of me, and I'm just going to stay there. And then when I've finished, I'm going to take my hands back to the chair and then come back to a seated position. So we should be feeling that here and the lower back and the back. So that's the position. We're going to do that 4 times in total. And then on the 5th time, I'm going to stand up straight. Let's give it a go. Sweeping the arms up, hovering. We're going to breathe here. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Sweep the arms back, find a seat and lower down. Number 2, lifting ourselves up. Really drawing our belly button in, breathing in and out. in and out, and then sweeping the hands down and finding the seat. Number 3, lifting up and holding. It's a really strong pose. We should be feeling that now in our legs and our big muscles. And then coming down. Number 4, arms out, shoulders down in the back, drawing our belly button in, breathe in and out, and then coming back down. And this is our 5th one. We'll come up to standing. So we hold, breathe in and out. Breathe in, and this time on the out breath, lower the hands and straighten the legs to come up to standing. And then give yourselves a little bit of a wiggle, because that was quite a lot of work there. Well done. Now we're standing. We're going to take our focus to our legs and how we use them to help us balance with. So we're going to move the chair, if you're in the chair. So taking the chair from there, and we're going to place the chair at the side. And I'm going to come standing behind the chair now. So I'm positioned in front of the chair, and I've got my hands on the back of the chair, just loosely. I don't want to be over the chair because that places too much weight on there, but not so far away that I have to lose my balance. So finding that middle point. Your feet are underneath your knees. So when you bend your knees should be over your toes, and your hips are going to be underneath your knees. So we're just going to come to mountain pose. And mountain pose is a really strong grounding pose in yoga. So I want us to just spread our toes nice and wide on the mat. And then I'd like you to lengthen the legs, lifting up slightly at the front. You're going to just gently squeeze the inside thighs together and then draw the shoulders down the back. You're reaching the head, the top of the head to the ceiling, and you're trying to stay nice and long. And you're really lifting up at the front, not tucking the tailbone under, but just gently tucking. And then this is enabling you to keep upright and straight. Now I want you to explore where your balance is. So we're going to shift our weight over our toes. So very gently shifting the weight over our toes of our feet. So my weight is definitely over the balls of my feet here. Then I'm going to shift my weight over towards the heels and see what it feels like with your weight right over the back. You feel a little bit off balance. So find that center point in the arches. And then this time take your weight over to the right hand side. So gently shifting it over to the right. Feel what the muscles that you have to use in order to work to get you back again. And then over to the left and back again. And so balance is really important as we get older, because we really need to maintain our balance. We're going to do some heel rises, using our calves and strengthening our ankles. And the heel rises are really great for that. So in mountain pose, as we were, shifting our weight over the balls of our feet, we're now being able to release the ankles, and I'm going to lift my ankles up and really nice and high, and I'm lifting it up at the front again. I'm pushing the ceiling with the top of my head, and I'm just going to test the balance here. I'm lifting one hand off, lifting the other hand off, maybe testing and lifting both hands off. Oh, that was a little bit of a wobble. And then lowering the heels down nice and slowly with control. And then bend the knees so that you get a little bit of relief on the calves and the ankles. Maybe have a wiggle of the hips. Let's do that once more. So set yourself up in mountain pose, lifting up at the front, lengthening the spine, and then gently taking the weight over the balls of the feet, lifting the ankles really nice and high. And the gaze is forward, and again, testing your balance, one hand, testing the balance, two hands, taking them down. And if you can't balance, that's fine, but that's something that you might want to work towards. And then lowering the heels down with control, and then having a little bit of a wiggle and releasing some of the tension that you might be holding. Right, we're going to work on the big muscle groups now. So these are the quad muscles and the hamstrings and the glutes and the lower back. And we're going to do high crescent lunge in yoga, but they also look a little bit squat-like as well if you go to the gym. I'm going to take my left leg back, and my right leg is going to be forward. So I'm going to step my leg back. Now I'm taking it back quite a small amount. If I want to increase the difficulty, I take it back quite a lot. and that makes the pose a little harder. You have to work the muscles harder. If you're finding that too much, bring the leg in and we'll have a small lunge today. And we're going to drop our hips down directly down to the floor or to the mat. So they're just going to dip down. And I'm going to bend the front leg and bend the left leg. And as I do so, dropping my hips and dipping my legs down. And I'm going to pause here. And then I'm going to lift my leg back up again. Good. I might just take that leg out back a little bit. That's a bit more comfortable for me. So taking my weight down, dropping it straight down, and making sure my knee's over my ankle here, taking the weight back. That's it. And lifting up. 2 more times, dipping down, working those legs, keeping the back upright, gaze forward, and back up again. And then dropping down, and we should be feeling that in our thighs and our legs, and then lifting up again. Good. Let's do that on the other side. Let's take the right foot back and the left leg is forward. And again, just making sure your knee's over your toes, no wiggling around the knee. You're really trying to maintain good alignment in the legs. So the back of the heel is off. My hands are on the chair. Breathe in. And as I breathe out, dropping the hips down. Hovering for a moment and then lifting back up again. Again, remember to lift up at the front as we drop down, keeping a nice straight spine, and then back up again. 2 more times. Down and up, and then down and up. Good. Let's have a stretch of the back of the legs. I'm going to take my left leg back and my right leg is forward, and I'm just going to draw my heel down, so I'm having a nice stretch down the back of the leg, and this is a good calf stretch. And again, trying to maintain a nice alignment between the top of head and the left foot, and then stepping that foot back in again, and we'll do a nice stretch for the back of the leg. It's been working those calves and the legs, and then back again. And we're going to come up to some more balances. Slightly difficult, more difficult. And I'm going to take my body now to the front of the mat. And I've got my chair at the side of me. So again, just position yourself so that it's nice and comfortable. So not so much you're over, not so much that you're far away, but a really nice, comfortable position where the arm falls naturally on the back of the chair. So we're going to do a balance. I'm going to take my right hand to my right hip, and all I'm going to do is lift my right knee gently towards the ceiling. So again, find that mountain pose, nice and straight and strong. Shift your weight over towards the left leg. That enables you to release the right knee, and the knee floats up towards the ceiling. Again, drawing the belly button in towards the spine, lifting yourself up, and then sending the energy down the standing leg. And your leg might just be here, and that's absolutely fine. It might be toes on the floor, and that's fine too. But again, go to your ability, and you might want to stretch yourself. So lowering the foot down. And then give your hips a little bit of a wiggle because you've been working those legs. We're going to come to tree pose now on the right side. So tree pose is you have your foot at the right foot's going to turn out at the knee and at the hip. So we're opening this right leg out. The knee is bent, and I'm going to take my foot either to my ankle, to my calf if I am, or if it's really so too much for you, you can always keep your foot on the floor at that ankle as well. So find somewhere that you feel comfortable with. And our hand is either going to come to our hip, or it can come to heart center, or it can come above our head. Again, the further the hand is away from the body, it's a longer lever and the more you have to work. So if you're feeling a little bit off balance, keep those hands nice and tight towards your body. Starting in mountain pose, lengthening up, lifting up, shift your weight over towards the left foot, releasing the right foot, and then again this time, opening the knee at the hip, placing the foot at either propped on the floor at the ankle, at the calf, And if you're feeling really ambitious, towards the thigh, but we'll not do that today. And my hands at my hip today. And I'm just going to see if I can balance. So I'm taking my hand off and feeling the balance there. And my ankles are having to work really quite hard. I'm lifting up at the front and lengthening the spine, reaching towards the ceiling with the top of my head, feeling nice and long. And if I want to have my hands to heart center, I can do that. And it's a really good idea to find a focal point or a drishti point to help you concentrate. Lowering the hand and then lowering the leg and coming down. Bending the knees and give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. And we're going to do that all on the other side. So taking the chair to the other side. So I've got I'm facing you still. So again, just adjusting the positioning of your feet in relationship towards the chair. So let's do that knee rise to the front first. So I'm going to shift my weight over again to my right leg this time. That releases my left knee, and my left knee is going to float up. And I'm going to bring my hand towards my hip and just make some small alterations to help you balance with. And again, focus. You might want to test your balance. The foot might be down here because that's where you are today, and that's absolutely fine too. And then lowering the foot down with control, bending the knees and giving the hips a little bit of a sway. Let's do the tree pose on the left-hand side. So mountain pose, standing up nice and straight and tall. Take your weight over towards the right leg, releasing the left foot from the floor. Now the foot might want to be propped up on the floor at the ankle or at the calf. And our hand can either be at the hip, hands to heart center, or really kind of high. So find somewhere you feel comfortable with. Find that focus point and just gently make those small bodily adjustments to help you balance with. Testing the balance out as you do so. And then bringing your foot down and giving yourself a little bit of a wiggle. Well done. So we're going to do something called downward dog, and it's quite a nice stretched. So I've got my chair here. And in downward dog, we'd normally do this on the floor. We'd be on our hands and our feet. But this is like a modified downward dog to help us get into that position. So I've got my hands on the back of the chair, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to walk my feet out. So I'm stepping my feet out a little bit further and a little bit further until my back is nice and straight and I've got my feet underneath my hips, but I'm not off balance, but I've got a nice stretched spine. So I'm trying to breathe here, and each time I breathe out, allow the body to relax a little bit further. And this is a really great lower back stretch, hamstring stretch, and upper back and chest stretch. Breathing in and out. In and out. And then to come back up out of the pose, we bend the knees, slightly curving the spine, and walk the feet towards the chair, bringing the hips underneath us and coming up to standing. So nice and safely for that. We're going to do one last standing pose. So we're going to do something called Warrior 2. And I'm going to take my left foot to the top of the mat, and it's going to come in between the chair legs just here. My right foot is going to come out, and it's going to be at a 90-degree angle, similar to where we were on the chair. So my right toes are pointing towards the long edge of the mat, and my left toes are pointing to the short edge of the mat. And I'm going to bring my hips to the long edge of the mat as well, so they're facing this way. We're going to do a little bit of a knee bend. So I'm going to take my hand towards my hip. I breathe in. And as I breathe out, I'm going to bend my front leg. So I'm just going to bend the leg towards the chair and keep the leg away from the chair, nice and straight. Good. And we're just going to hold that. And again, it's a nice strong pose. Send that energy down the leg, all the way down, keeping the hands at the hips. And we just stay here for 2 or 3 breaths, and we should be feeling that in our thigh, our hips. And then breathe in, and then as we breathe out, we're going to straighten that front standing leg. Good. Give the hips a little bit of a wiggle, and then we're going to go on the other side. So I'm going to take the chair around, bring my other foot towards the middle of the chair, legs. This foot is pointing towards the long edge of the mat. Bringing my hands towards my hip. Breathe in, breathe out, and bend the front standing leg, the leg nearer the chair, keeping the back leg nice and straight. My body is upright. I'm pulling up at the front, drawing my belly button in. Might want to just adjust the arm on this chair. And breathe in and out, and really feel the energy coming down the legs. Breathe in, and on the next out breath, lengthening and straightening that front leg. Good. And then bring that foot in nice and safely, and have a little walk just to release any tension that you might have had from doing that pose. Well, that's all of our hard work done standing. I'm going to come back to the chair to do a few stretches to finish with before our relaxation. We're going to work on warming up our fingers and hands now. So as we get older, we need to make sure that we keep the mobility and fine motor skills in our hands, and sometimes that takes a little bit of effort. So starting with just playing the imaginary piano in front of us, warm those fingers up and just give them a little bit of a ease out. So I'm just kind of wiggling my hands side to side. And then keeping the hands still, we're going to warm up at the wrists, but on a table plane. So just swiping one side and the other side in a nice coordinated manner. Need to make those connections between my brain and my hands and my fingers. Okay, keeping those still. And now we're going to create a fist, and I'm going to open my fingers out nice and wide, and then create a fist and sparkle out. Out, and then we're going to go a little bit faster. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and then really super fast. And pause, and just give the hands a little bit of a shake. So we're going to work on the wrists now. So I'm going to bring my hands out in front of me, and I'm going to point my fingers down towards the floor. So I'm sending the energy along my arms, and it's coming out at my wrists. And then I'm going to take my fingers towards the ceiling. So pointing them upwards, and the fingers are going upwards, and the energy is coming out the heel of the hand. And then down and up, down, up, down, up, down and up. And then give the arms a little bit of shake. So for the next exercise, bring the hands to the chest and interlace the fingers. So the fingers are nice interlaced here. I'm going to turn the palms of my hands outwards, and I'm going to stretch and reach them forward. So I should be feeling a nice stretch in the forearms and at the wrists. I'm going to breathe in. As I do so, the hands come towards my chest, and as I breathe out, send the hands away and lengthen the arms. Breathing in and out. In and out. And then remember to draw those shoulders down, lifting up at the spine. And last time. And then bringing the hands back to the chest, retaining the elbows down and shaking those hands and releasing any tension. So we're going to be doing some functional movement exercises. So I want us to imagine that we've got a jam jar, and I'm going to place my right hand on the top and my left hand on the bottom, and I'm holding it in between, and I'm going to rotate my hands side to side, and just see if we can practice that twisting action, warming those hands up, and then tip the jar on the top, and then we're going to twist this way as well. Yeah. And then side to side this way. Okay. Gotta get those wrists moving. and then shake the hands and release any tension. I want you to imagine you've got a doorknob over towards the right hand side, and I'm going to hold the doorknob in front of me. I'm lengthening my arm, and I'm going to twist that doorknob one way and the other way. So opening the arm at the shoulder, in and out, rotating the arm at the shoulder blade. That's it. And then bring it back. And we'll do that on the left hand side. So imaginary doorknob out in front of us, and we just twist in the arm at the shoulder blade. It's a nice stretch for the forearm as well, making sure we can rotate that shoulder, and then bringing that back. I want you to have an imaginary key this time. It's a really tiny key, and it's in a tiny lock. So just a pincer-like movement, and you're going to take that key and place it in the imaginary lock and turn it. So again, it's quite fine motor skills. Turn it one way and the other way, and then bring it back. And we'll do that on the left hand. So pincer movement, imaginary key, put it in the lock and turn. And bring it back. Finally, we're going to work on our fingers and our fine motor skills with our fingers. So I want us to take our thumb and our first finger, and we're going to do a pincer-like movement, similar to how we had with the key. And it's creating a kind of flat pincer movement. And I'm going to do that with my thumb and first finger. I'm then going to change, and I'm going to do it with my thumb and middle finger. And then thumb and ring finger, and then thumb and little finger. And then we're going to come back again. So ring finger, middle finger, and first finger. And then open their hands and give them a wiggle. Let's do that again. So pincer first, middle, ring, little, ring, middle, first, and open. A little faster. First, middle, ring, little, ring, middle, first, and open. And then give the hands a shake. We're going to repeat that exercise. This time I want us to create a circle. So really try and make a circle with your thumb and first finger. And we're going to do that with both hands, and we'll do that with each finger. So I'm starting with my thumb and first finger, and then I'm going to make a circle with my thumb and middle finger. That's hard work. Make a circle with my ring finger, and finally my little finger. Let's go back the way we came. Ring, middle, and first. Again. Open the hands, give a shake. First, middle, ring, little, ring, middle, first, and open. First, ring, middle, little, middle, ring, middle, first, and open. Give those hands a shake, and generally give them all a shake and come down. That's our hands and our arms done. We're going to finish this session with a little bit of a cool down and then a relaxation. So let's stretch the legs out by coming to the front of the chair, so sitting slightly forward. Stretch the right leg out and lengthen it out. And you're just going to really feel that stretch down the back of the leg by flexing the foot and taking the toes towards the ceiling. And that might be just enough of a stretch. But if you want to deepen that stretch, hold the chair either side of you, lift up and sit up as we did in chair mountain pose. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, gently take your chest forward. And you might just get to here and you might feel that extra stretch down the back of the leg, or you might be able to take it a little bit further, depending how flexible or how stiff you might be today. And then just stay there, breathing in and out. And on the next out breath, lifting the chest nice and upright, and then returning that right leg underneath you. Let's do that on the other side. Stretching the left leg out, sitting up nice and straight and tall, reaching the head towards the ceiling. Breathe in, and then as you breathe out, Just gently taking the chest forward, feeling that stretch. Lifting ourselves up on the next out breath, and then bringing that foot back in. Return yourself back onto the chair. I'm seated a little bit further upright, but you might want to sit back down in the chair, depending on how much effort you've done today. So we're just going to have a stretch of the arms and at the shoulders to finish with. I want you to take your right hand and place it onto the left shoulder. Take the left hand and place it onto the right elbow. And very gently with the left hand, draw that elbow up towards you, so you're feeling a stretch at the shoulder and the top of the arm. And then releasing that and allowing the elbow to drop. And then this time we're going to take our hand, we're going to do a stretch of the tricep. So the hand can either come behind and we lift the elbow up. If you're a little bit more flexible, bring the other arm up above the head and reach that right hand towards the shoulder blades in between. You might just be here, and that's fine too. And then lowering that right elbow down, and then just gently easing out any stiffness. Let's do that on the left side. I'm going to take my left hand to my right shoulder. My right hand is going to go onto my left elbow. Very gently, I'm just going to draw that elbow up and across, feeling the stretch at the shoulder, the top of the arm. And then releasing that. And again, taking that left hand either to the shoulder or between the shoulder blades and lifting that elbow up. And again, if you want the full stretch, the right hand is over the top of the head. If you can't reach that, just assist it and hold it a little bit further down. Releasing that. And then again, just easing out any stiffness or tension that you might be holding. And we're going to finish with a nice guided relaxation. So for this relaxation, I want you to rest back into the chair. Make sure that your top of your back is nicely nestled into the upper part of the chair and your hips and your lower back in the lower part of the chair. Make sure that your hips are in line, your knees are in line with your hips and your feet are underneath your knees. So some good posture while we're sitting. And then take your hands and place them in your lap so that you can relax the shoulders. And I just want you to close your eyes at this point. And taking a couple of breaths here, revisit the breaths that we did at the start of class. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And after that out breath, just focus on the body and do a body check and see how your body's feeling now. Is it feeling a little bit more relaxed? Let's do that once more. Breathing in. As you breathe out, relax all of the body into the chair. We're going to breathe once more, and this time, if you've got any busy thoughts or you've got any negative thoughts, maybe consciously try to remove those from your head as you breathe out on the next breath. So breathe in, take those busy negative thoughts and send them out on the out breath. And then just bring your breath back to a normal breathing. And I'm going to do a guided relaxation for you now. So starting at the top of the head, take your focus to the top of the head, the forehead, and at the side of the face. Focus on relaxing the top of the head, the forehead, and the side of the face. And as you breathe out, feel your body relax. This time, take your focus to your eye sockets, your jaw, and the back of the neck. And allow them to feel relaxed and soften. Working down the body, taking your focus to your upper back, your shoulders and your chest. Breathing in and out and allowing them to relax into the chair. Feel that relaxed feeling travel down the middle back and the lower back. Feel your abdomen soften and your hips relax. Allow the thighs to relax and soften. Feel the knees and the calves relax. Finally, your ankles and the soles of the feet. And just allow your whole body to relax in this position here. So very gently bringing your focus back to your mind's eye. Taking some deeper breaths, breathing in. Feeling the lungs fill with air, and as you breathe out, maybe blinking your eyes open. Take a couple more breaths and send some energy to the fingers, maybe to the toes. And then with every breath, perhaps sending energy to the arms and the legs and wakening the body up from that relaxation. Perhaps having a stretch or a yawn and bringing yourself upright. And I just want to thank you for taking part in my chair yoga class. And we'll finish the class with a Namaste, which is like a greeting. So placing your hands together at your heart, we'll just say Namaste to each other. Namaste.